This is chapter 2 in my special series about components, and this week I want to talk about components that we don't make ourselves, but we do have them in the catalog. Let's start right out with everybody's favorite, the Meeple. 25 years ago, the term Meeple was meaningless. In fact, it didn't even exist. It still doesn't exist to people outside the gaming hobby. I'm surprised how many people I meet that never heard the word Meeple. They have no idea what I'm talking about. They came to America decades ago with the import of German Euro games. The first actual Meeple-shaped pawns came with a game in 1984 from a publisher called Handsome Glück, and they called these little figures followers, and they were included in a game about spy networks. We can be very precise about the origin of the term Meeple. In November of the year 2000, a gamer named Allison Hansel coined the term as a contraction of My People, and it kind of stuck and it got popular within that group. And as they'd go to gaming events and shows, other people started picking up the word Meeple. We sell these little 16 millimeter tall Meeples in bags of a dozen. We have red, yellow, green, purple, and orange. And they all come in a baggie for $6.95 plus shipping. So now let's talk about cubes. These little 8 millimeter cubes have been around in classrooms for years. They use them for counting and to teach kids about proportions and quantities and do a little bit of math and so on. Gamers discovered them years ago to represent resources, worker placement, to use for military units, and simply as placeholders on the board for some future strategic decision. So if you need replacement cubes or you want to upgrade maybe from cardboard counters to little wooden cubes, we sell them in baggies of a dozen, and those little baggies are only $2 plus shipping. And next we have cribbage pegs. They're very convenient for a lot of pegboard applications. And not just games themselves, but of course our scoreboards product and a lot of other ways. Now the game of cribbage was invented by Sir John Suckling in the early 1600s. It was based on an earlier game called Noddy, and the very first rules were published in 1662. And it enjoyed a modest popularity, you might say, over the next 150 years or so. But the author Charles Dickens gave that popularity a boost when he referred to it in one of his novels. The cribbage board, as we know it today, the basic rectangle, was already fairly popular in the pub circuits. By the end of the 1800s, the game of cribbage had become a worldwide phenomenon, spread pretty much right along with the British Empire. And these little pegs became very popular around the first part of the 20th century. But these little guys are fairly standard, and they're used in a lot of applications aside from cribbage. Of course, we use them for our scoreboards product. We use them for all our peg pastimes games and a lot of our other games as well. They're great for travel games and strategy games and that type of thing. If you've ever played Roll Through the Ages, you've played with cribbage pegs on that little scoreboard. And so if you find yourself in need of cribbage pegs, we offer quite a range of colors as replacement pegs, or if you just like a certain color of peg to play cribbage, the cribbage pegs come in little baggies, a dozen at a time. You can get all one color or an assortment of colors, that's your choice, and they're only $2.50 plus shipping. Now, Klaus Teuber invented the game called Settlers of Catan back in 1997. And in 2021, he introduced an expansion to that game called Seafarers of Catan. And that's when they introduced these little boats. You can buy these little boats from us for replacements, enhancements, or use them for other games. We have just the 4 colors, but you can get them in little baggies of 12, all the same color or an assortment, your choice, and they're only $5.95 plus shipping. And finally, here's a related product that you cannot get anywhere else. We had these little rocket ships created especially for a couple of our games, and so we decided again to make them available at a discounted price for our faithful customers. We've got 6 different colors, and I think they're just about perfect for a science fiction themed game. And they are a full 20 millimeters tall. You can get them in baggies of 12, either all the same color or an assortment of colors. And they're only $5.95 for a baggie, and of course, plus shipping. So that's basically it for this week. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I wanted to let you know these products are here in case you have a need for them, and we hope to serve you. So if you play a game that requires some of these little wooden bits or some other game, you know what I always say, be sure to play every day. Now, just one final note, if you don't see what you want here and you're looking around the internet trying to find a particular game piece that you can't locate, let us know, because we may have a resource for those things, or we may have a desire to make those ourselves. And just let us know and we'll see if we can't help you out. So thanks again for tuning in.